Hello everyone, this is teacher Susie and welcome to my class. In this video, we are going to discuss the different conditions which guarantee that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So let's have this given quadrilateral. So we are going to name this as quadrilateral ABCD. Alright? So again, suppose that this is quadrilateral A, B, C, D. So what are the different conditions that guarantee that this quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram? So let's have these conditions. Alright? So dapat itong mga nakalista dito na conditions ay characteristics nitong quadrilateral ABCD. Alright, so let's start. So condition number 1. Ang sabi, a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if both pairs of opposite sides are congruent. So in this given quadrilateral, ano-ano ba yung pairs ng opposite sides niya? So again, when we say opposite sides, these are sides na walang common endpoints. So, those are, so if we are talking about AB, okay, side AB, opposite to it is side DC. Alright? And when we talk about this side, side AD, opposite to it is side BC or CB. And if you notice, sa AB and DC, okay, AB, this is AB, this is DC, wala silang common endpoint. Same with AD and BC. So it means to say these are pairs of opposite sides. Alright, so a quadrilateral has two pairs of opposite sides, and to guarantee that this is a parallelogram, dapat daw ang opposite sides niya are congruent. Okay? So, if this quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram, it means to say that AB is congruent to DC. Okay? So, these two are congruent. And AD, this side, is also congruent to BC. Alright? Since these two pairs of sides are opposite and this quadrilateral is a parallelogram, it means to say that this pair of opposite sides are congruent. When we say congruent, equal ang kanilang measurement. Alright? So let's have an example. If, let's say, AB, side AB measures 5 centimeters, so what should be the measurement of side DC? So since AB and DC are opposite sides, it means to say that DC is also equal to 5 centimeters. Or kung gagawa tayo ng equation about this, ito nga siya. We can say that AB is congruent to DC. Alright? So that's the first condition. Second condition, a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. So for condition number 1, opposite sides niya ay congruent. For condition number 2, opposite angles niya naman ay congruent. So we know that a quadrilateral has 4 sides and 4 angles. So what are the 4 angles of this quadrilateral? So we have angle A, angle B, angle C, and angle D. So angle A is opposite to angle C. Okay? So opposite angles are those angles in which no sides are common to them. Okay? So, since angle A and angle C are opposite angles, And since this is a parallelogram, we can say that angle A is congruent to angle C. So we can write that as angle A is congruent to angle C. So we know naman we have three different ways on how to name an angle, diba? So aside from naming angle A, naming it as angle A, we can name it also as angle DAB or BAD. And for this angle, instead of naming it, or aside from naming it as angle C, pwede natin siyang pangalanan as angle BCD and DCB. So isulat natin. So angle A can also be named as angle DAB. Pwede rin siyang angle BAD. Okay? Is congruent to angle C, which we can name also as angle DCB and angle BCD. So kung mapapansin natin, no sides or these two opposite angles don't share the same sides. Okay? So a quadrilateral has two pairs of opposite angles. One of them are angles A and angle C. Another pair, so we also have angle D and angle B. So since these two are opposite, ibig sabihin, angle D is congruent to angle B. Alright, so that's the second condition. So it means to say that if angle D measures 80 degrees, okay, this is 80 degrees, let's say 80 degrees siya, and since opposite sila ng angle B, it means to say angle B is also 80 degrees. Pareho sila ng measurement. So if angle D is 80, angle B is also 80 degrees. Alright? Third condition. A quadrilateral is a parallelogram if both pairs of consecutive angles are supplementary. So when we say consecutive angles, ito yung mga angles na magkasunod or magkatabi. So kabaliktaran siya ng opposite angles. Yung opposite angles walang common side. Ang consecutive angles, meron silang common sides. Alright? So when we talk about angle A, so consecutive to angle A is angle D. Okay, magkatabi sila. They share this side, the same side, which is AD. Okay? So magkatabi sila, magkasunod sila. And aside from angle D, consecutive din sila ng angle B. Alright? Si angle B, consecutive naman siya, aside from angle A, consecutive din sila ng angle C. Si angle C, aside from angle B, consecutive din sila ng angle D. At ang sabi dito, so if this is a parallelogram, consecutive angles are supplementary. So when we say supplementary, the sum of their angles is 180. Ibig sabihin, pag inad natin yung dalawang consecutive angles, the sum will be 180 degrees. So kunin natin yung angle B and angle C. So since these two are consecutive angles, ibig sabihin, angle B, pag inad natin yung measurement niya with angle C, the sum will be equal to 180 degrees. So they are supplementary. The same with angle B and angle C rather, and angle D. So angle C plus angle D, they are consecutive. They are two consecutive angles. It means to say that when we add them, the sum is 180. The same with angle D and angle A. So when we add angle D and angle A, their sum is 180 degrees. Also with angle A and angle B. So angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degrees. So that is what is meant by consecutive angles. Alright? So I hope that you remembered everything, because when you know all of these conditions, you will be able to identify the different parts of a parallelogram. Let's have condition number 4. A quadrilateral is a parallelogram if pair of opposite sides are parallel and congruent. So we have already discussed about the opposite sides of a parallelogram as congruent. Now let's have parallel. So pag sinabi nating parallel, it means to say the sides are equidistant to each other. Equal ang distance ng opposite sides sa isa't isa. Or it means to say that no matter how long you extend the opposite sides, they will never ever meet. Okay? So if this quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram, and since sabi natin kanina, AB, side AB and DC are opposite sides, they are congruent, they are also parallel. Alright? So AD, side AD, and side DC are parallel. So if we're going to write that as a symbol, so we can write this as side AB is parallel. So we use this symbol for that shows that the two sides are parallel. So AB and DC are parallel. So another pair of opposite sides are AD and BC. So we can also write that AD is parallel to side BC. Okay? So that's additional conditions for parallelogram. So aside from the opposite sides are congruent, just like this, opposite sides are also parallel, just like this. Alright? Fifth condition, a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if diagonals bisect each other. So let us draw a diagonal for our quadrilateral. So let me use different color of line to show the diagonals. Alright, so as you can see, when I connect A and C, it forms a line. So this is the diagonal. The same with B. If I'm going to connect it to D, we form another line. So these two lines are what we call the diagonals. Let me use different color for the other diagonal. Gamit tayo ng green. Okay, to show this. Ayan siya. So we have two diagonals, okay, for our given quadrilateral. So if this is a parallelogram daw, yung diagonals daw bisect each other. When we say bisect each other, it means to say na since nag-intersect itong dalawang diagonal natin, so nahati sila, nahati nilang isa't isa. Nahati nila ang isa't isa into two congruent parts or into two equal parts. Okay, so yan pang ibig sabihin ng condition number 5. So let's say this is the point of intersection. Let's name this point of intersection as point E. Alright? So since they bisect each other, hinati nilang isa't isa into two equal parts, it means to say na itong AE, yung kalahati ng AC, okay, AE is congruent to EC. Equal ang kanilang measurement. So we can write this as AE is congruent to EC. Okay? Is congruent to EC. Okay? And pag i-add natin itong dalawang to, so when we add AE and EC, of course, that is equal to the whole diagonal. Okay? Yung half, other half, added to the other half, that's equal to the whole diagonal, which is AC. Okay? And the other diagonal, so meron tayong diagonal DB, nahati siya dito ng diagonal na ito. So, we have DE. Okay? We have DE na. So, we can say that DE is congruent to the other half. Ang other half niya ito, which is AB. So, DE is congruent to EB. Pag inad naman natin ito, so itong side or itong diagonal na to, half ng diagonal, plus this other half, pag inad natin, that will be equal to the whole diagonal DB or BD. So when we have DE plus EB, that is equal to the whole diagonal DB. Alright? So I hope na malinaw po sa atin. Okay? Itong dinidiscuss natin. And the last condition, a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if each diagonal form two congruent triangles. Yung bawat diagonal daw ng parallelogram ay magfo-form ng dalawang congruent triangles. Alright? So, unahin natin tong diagonal na to. We have diagonal AC. Okay? So, let's use red for this. So, again, this is our, let's use a straight line to show this. Okay? So, this is the diagonal, one of the diagonals, that's AC. Okay? So, with this diagonal, may nabuong dalawang triangles. Ano-ano yon? Ito yung isang triangle. Okay? So, ito yung other side. And this is the third side. So, let's name it as triangle ABC. Okay? So, we have triangle ABC. And ano yung isa pang triangle? The other side. So, this is one of the sides again, which is the diagonal. Ito yung second side. And this is the third side. Okay? So, let's say that is triangle ADC. So, the other triangle is triangle ADC. Ang sabi, a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if each diagonal form two congruent triangles. And since sabi natin kanina, this quadrilateral is a parallelogram na naka-form ng dalawang triangles yung ating diagonal. So we can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ADC. Alright? So equal ang measurement ng sides and angles nila. And meron pang isang pair ng triangle tayo na nabuo from the other diagonal naman. So, let's use green, okay, to show those triangles. So, kanina, pinakita natin itong diagonal na to, diagonal DB. And with this diagonal, nakabuo tayo ng dalawang triangles. So, nasaan ang mga yon? So, this DB is one of the sides of the triangle. Let's say this is the other side, AB. And the third side is AD. So we have formed here a triangle. Let's say that is triangle ABD. Triangle ABD. So the other triangle is yung nasa kabila. So this is one of the sides of the triangle. This is the second side of the triangle. And this is the third side of the triangle. Okay? So we have the other triangle, which is triangle CBD. Triangle CBD. And since this is a parallelogram, we can say that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD. So that will be all for today. So I hope that you understand the conditions which guarantee that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So I will be uploading another video connected to this topic in which we're going to solve or identify the different parts of a parallelogram using these conditions. So thank you for watching. See you on my next video. Goodbye.